History of Air and Space Travel 1. Early attempts to fly. Humans have always been fascinated with flying. Before airplanes and rockets, people looked at birds and wondered how they could take to the sky. Ancient times, people used myths and stories to explain flying. In Greek mythology, there is a story about Icarus, who tried to fly using wings made of feathers and wax. Leonardo da Vinci. 15th century. Leonardo da Vinci was a brilliant thinker and artist who designed many flying machines, like a helicopter and glider, though they were never built or flew. 2. The first successful flights. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, people started working on practical ways to fly. The Wright brothers. 1903. Orville and Wilbur Wright were the first to fly a powered airplane. Their airplane, the Wright Flyer, made its first flight on December 17, 1903. At Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, it flew for 12 seconds and covered 120 feet. This was the first time a machine powered by an engine had flown under control. Early airplanes. After the Wright brothers, many people and countries began building better airplanes. Airplanes became faster and safer, and soon people could travel long distances by air. 3. The Golden Age of Aviation. After the Wright brothers, airplanes kept getting better, and air travel became more popular. Charles Lindberg. 1927. Charles Lindberg made the first solo, non-stop flight across the Atlantic Ocean. He flew from New York to Paris in a plane called the Spirit of St. Louis. The flight took over 33 hours. Amelia Earhart. 1932. Amelia Earhart was the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. She became famous for her courage and skills as a pilot. 4. World War II and advances in air travel. During World War II, airplanes were used in combat, which led to rapid improvements in their design, speed, and technology. Jet engines. After World War II, airplanes began to use jet engines, which made them much faster and more efficient. This led to commercial air travel becoming faster and more affordable. 5. The race to space. While airplanes were taking people across the sky, another huge leap was happening: space travel. Sputnik. 1957. The first human-made satellite, Sputnik, was launched by the Soviet Union, now Russia. It orbited the Earth, marking the beginning of the space age. Yuri Gagarin. 1961. The first person to travel into space was Yuri Gagarin, a Soviet cosmonaut. He orbited the Earth in his spacecraft, Vostok 1, for about 108 minutes. This was a huge milestone in space exploration. 6. The moon landing. One of the biggest achievements in space travel happened in 1969. Apollo 11. 1969. NASA's Apollo 11 mission was the first time humans landed on the moon. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin were the astronauts who stepped onto the moon's surface, while Michael Collins stayed in orbit around the moon. Neil Armstrong's famous words were, "That's one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind."